1 minute away from what could be the last game of the day, the last game of semifinals, Dusty versus Riddle. We saw the Udyr, it made sense, but question, Lucian Nami, is it worth it going for it another time?
I think so, still, because Lucian Nami, it does give you an ability to play hard through bot lane. You're playing through kill lanes. Now, I think the problem is not the Lucian Nami, but in a nullifying lane against it. I think you take rid of the Varus, and then you look towards that Lucian Nami. I'm wondering what side Riddle have gone for. If they go towards the blue side, maybe they can they have done that. Maybe they can guarantee themselves the Nami first pick or the Lucian first pick or something like that, and that allows them to snap that up, ban away the Varus on their last ban, and then see if Dusty want to ban away the Nami and see if they can get that Lucian Nami against a less nullifying bot lane. That would be how I approach this.
Other option, go for Varus yourself. Be that oppressive person, try and make that play. But if you are going towards the Lucian Army, I need them to commit even harder. They got one gank off that worked, one gank that really didn't work because Linus got into the bush, but track your jungler a little bit better. Make sure you're actually getting some kills and some plates into the back pocket of cover, because honestly, I haven't actually seen properly orchestrated tower dives from Riddle yet this series. And if you are running the Lucian Army, you are running something like an Udyr, please, please, please try and get someone trapped under tower and make sure they die in the bot side if you're drafting towards it.
It's pretty hard to dive bot lane nowadays, is the problem I have with that.
I know,
so typically when you're looking for dives and you're looking for plays, you actually need a Herald to do that. To win Herald, you need to be winning top side. Winning top side for Riddle, I don't think is on the cards at this point. I think that's the problem they've got to do. I think you have to play through just brutalizing laning phase. They do ban away the Jax. Now, that does mean Varus is likely going to be open. If we see Varus versus Lucian Nami again, I feel like that nullifies Riddle's strongest point in reference to Dusty, and I think that's a mistake. That's a mistake. I don't think you can play through bot lane against the Varus. I think they've tried that. They did get plates. They did get that tower, and it wasn't enough. You need to hard crush that bot lane matchup for me. I think you have to first lock the that's okay though. That changes things a little bit.
And in fairness to Riddle, they won both Herald fights, got Herald itself 1 out of 2 times. So, like, they have at least been getting those plays happening. That's where Dusty have dropped a couple kills earlier on. They've got the Sejuani, which is definitely a very dangerous pick, and they've decided that's something they feel they've got an option with, and I kind of like that ability to flex up to the jungle if they need it as well as a first pick. Varus through, I mean, that's not surprising, but now it'll have to see what Kerberos goes towards. Now he doesn't have the Jax.
That's one thing, and it also allows Riddle to play towards more pick-based team fights. You look in something like LeBlanc's gone again, but if you look in another high mobility mid laner, at least the Sejuani ult can pin them down. That's one thing, right? I'm a little worried that you can... I'm actually a little bit worried that you can go towards Silas already, actually, from Dusty, and say, well, you know, what do you do at that point? The Viego's fine, so you have the Viego. And that means that you don't have Sejuani top and the Viego kind of like having the melee synergy on the top side of the map. You're denying that. If you lock in Nautilus third and you just say, okay, you got to ban away that, you got to ban away stuff like the Silas, I think that Dusty are, again, very happy with even the first couple of picks locked in here. Riddle actually running out of a couple of options here.
Does feel like that. I mean, we'll see what they have to go alongside it. The Samira would certainly be a bolder
kill
call.
Lane, not Lucian Nami. Okay, all right.
All right, it's not JDXL, but it's a JDXL special. FGG nods his head in respect, so does Venza. We know how this one works. You throw the Attract Repel down on the Samira, she dives on in, you get a stun, you get your passive knock up as well, you get the increased range, lots of good stuff there.
I love this.
Alistair's not bad into this.
I like this response because everything that Riddle has got right there is Sejuani ult the first target, Rel onto the front, just into the team fight. Awesome, cool. Alistair sits there with ult and says, well, you're not killing the first target because that's me, and I'm taking like 70% less damage. Good luck with that. And then also gets to punt away something like that Samira or the Rel, and you can't Blade Whirl a headbutt pulverize. You can't stop that engage coming through, nor can you deny any of Viego's damage. So I'm looking at this Samira and I'm like, Samira is not going to be able to teamfight optimally in this game. So already, 5v5s on an even standpoint. They were difficult last game. It's going to be difficult again this time. So you need to come away with early leads, crush through that bot lane before that becomes an issue. Good luck, Riddle. Yeah. Good luck.
I mean, the other thing, like with that Alistair, I know Cool JJ was talking about this matchup way ages ago, that Alistair can sort of knock the Rel out of a lot of her dive down, the crash down combos. Yeah. And you can be really irritating with that. So, like, even in lane, it can be a bit tricky.
So actually, I was hearing the other side of
Oh,
this, because
really?
actually you can
What?
stun Alistair out of his headbutt pole combo with the attack repel.
Can you
So actually, it's
now?
really strange. I think
That
it
is
was,
fun. Okay.
I think it was Raisins, who is, you know, like Challenger UK
Yes.
support. He's been
Yeah, I
around. And he
remember
was
that.
saying actually he really likes the Rel side of the matchup because you can stop Alistair doing the same thing. They both nullify each other's engage combos because Rel, I think Rel like a support Tristana in a weird way. If you get to land and your knockup isn't cancelled, awesome, cool, good moment for you. Same with the Alistair on the other side, though. Like, if you can't actually realistically get your combo off, you lose some value there. So both these supports, well-known matchup at this point. We've seen it since, you know, season 10 or whatever. And it has a little bit of counterplay on both sides. So now a chance for the supports to show off.
Lots of
Interesting,
fun.
okay.
Yeah.
Mid lanes are going to be focused coming in from Riddle to try and take away backlands comfortability, and so far that is really hard to tackle. We know he can play pretty much whatever he wants. He was looking at that control mage before, but maybe he can go a little bit more fancier or
Oh.
just burst away. I thought he was going for the control mages, but
I know.
So
he's-
I
he's
saw the
easy
Galio and I'm
to-
like, get off it. Backland's
Don't-
never played a Galio game of Galio in
Yeah.
his life. He has to
Yeah.
play aggressive. You know, he plays whatever. But he's ended up
It's a
blocking
good
this
zone,
Victor. And again, you don't get to block a lot of this stuff as Samira. Samira sat there like, yes, I'm in. Oh my word, everything has hit me under the sun. Like, Alistair doesn't get to get blocked. Viego doesn't get to get blocked. The Victor ult, you're not getting rid of that either. That's difficult.
Ah. So there's control mage matchup, and facing on a Ziggs is something that has been really successful for him this tournament so far. That's also something with a bit of range, which has been a bit of a lacking problem for Riddle over the last couple of games, and in this series as well, right? Not this series, this particular draft as well, because at the minute, you know, you've got 3 champions that are going to dive in to Alistair Headbutt Bulb, into Viego,
Okay.
into Gravity Field. That's really tricky. Jax Plank locking in a split pushing carry, though. Much better. We know what this guy can do if he's given some power and some priority in a lane. The only thing is you've already drafted a Samira and a Rel.
I
and they
half
kinda wanna
like
play
it.
towards
That's the
that.
thing,
If-
right?
okay.
If Fiora could play 1v2 or in a 1v1 without anybody there, fine.
So I like the
Oh.
Fiora with I like the
You
Fiora
wouldn't.
with the Ziggs. I like the Fiora with the Ziggs because you have wave clear and split push.
Yes!
But now
Yes!
both teams have a
Let's
split
go!
push threat. And I think that Curve is having a bit of fun here. Now he's played a game of this before in this tournament. It was when they were already through in groups. They were guaranteed through and he goes, whatever, we'll be fine with it. We've seen a game of this before, but like this one is pretty nasty because Fiora doesn't get to use the riposte in anything but that condemn. Now, Riddle have the problem, but they do have, yes, Fiora with some wave clear, so you get to stall in the 4v4 while the Fiora split pushes. Samira doesn't like being that situation in the 4-man unit, though. So this is Fiora good. Samira doesn't really like that state of play. Dusty, I think they just have arguably just a better version of what Riddle wants to do in that regard.
Yeah, and I think if your Alistair is not playing aggressive and just looking to cancel the Rel engages, you can play defensive bot side with that pretty easily. It's hard to dive. You can farm from range with the Varus. You can play towards the Vayne. You can play towards that mid jungle and top side, and don't have to think too much about that bot lane. For Riddle, in some ways they're being torn in 2 directions, right? And if Nash can get on the map, great. Otherwise, I tend to agree with Nymera, with the exception that the Ziggs ult is semi-global and can make things a bit tricky if you pair that up with the Sejuani burst.
Yes,
Well, at
but the
this
problem
point,
I
it
have-
seems the desk is now looking at 3-0 from Dusty. I know you want to chip in,
There's
but
so
we
much
need
to
to
talk
jump
about.
into the...
We'll have time
there's
for that,
there's a lot of things to talk about, but also, Kerberos broke one of the 10 commandments of the top lane, so I'm really sad. Let's toss it to the cast to see if we're in trouble. Take it away. I don't want to see this.
I'm gonna be real with you. Curve is a
what?
player. Curve is a player who, you know, just plays everything. He just plays a lot of stuff. Yes, he has some range stuff in there. Obviously, the Vayne. Anyone who's played top lane versus top lane Vayne knows the pain of what's about to happen. But this is the big but. You can also really punish Vayne top lane. Hence why you don't see it all the time. Because if it falls behind, it is gonna really fall behind. I'm gonna be, you know, obviously I's very, very much focused on the top lane. I think it's going to be, some might say fun, some might say less than fun. I don't know. I'll get your thoughts on it, Trouble. What are you making of this?
I feel like Dusty are a little bit skill checking at this point.
Yeah.
First of all, you know that little meme with the dog that's like looking like this, the little
Yeah.
sausage dog when he's like really sassy? That's how I was when Buckland locked in Victor. I'm like, the Silas, Akali, LeBlanc, Yasuo specialist looks in a Victor. With all due respect, 4 of all these champions were all bad.
True.
So the game was like, well, rip. screw this. I guess I'll go back to playing control mages. But
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I feel like Dusty right here are very extremely willing to skill check, especially since you pick the Alistair into the Rel. These are two champions that counter each other, and it's whoever breaks each other's combo first ends up winning the trade right here, whilst Linces and Kerberos are walking into 4 members. Now Stend is coming, but he might have to flash for this. Linces is...
Yeah. Why has Linces not flashed yet? He was so slow to pull that trigger. They do get the arrows off the slow, and the ghost is still there on curb, but Linces was just taking so much damage for free. And I think that was just a miscommunication. The expectation was Stend would flash Polv, and then he didn't because he thought Linces would flash. That was just... They weren't communicating. That's what happened there.
Then Voxner, though, got chucked down to 30% HP, and he's going to be backing, which means that he's going to be
that's
pretty
rough,
late in lane. This is going to be a rough first of a few levels for the side of Dusty. The only upside that I can see right here is that the Ignite from Nash has already been used, but as you can see, Ignite is one of the shortest cooldowns when it comes to summon spells, so it's going to be active fairly soon. Half of the cooldown is almost already gone, so by the time Nash is like level 3, it's most likely going to be back up and running. But right here, as you can see, 1 CS of experience going to be gone for the Voxne. If he's going to be lucky enough to catch up with the rest, but that means that level 2 is going to be quite delayed for the Dusty AD carry, and Riddle come out winners on this one.
And actually, kind of just going back to that invade as well, it's not just about, yeah, sure, Nash got the kill, so that's probably the best case scenario for Dusty. The Rel gets the kill, but look, Linces, no flash. Curb, no ghost. Backline, no ghost. Like, they used a lot of summoner spells there. A lot of very key summoner spells early now. And that is, with them Voxney now basically out of the lane and having to play very respectfully to Kevo and Nash, it just means this is going to be infinitely more rough for Dusty this early game. And they're going to have to play this very smart. They're going to have to, play with respect and then hope that their team fighting prowess is going to be enough for them. It's now been 2 games in a row where their team fighting has basically just defined this series. And this is definitely going to be the big test for them. Linces getting jumped over the wall by Stefan here, who Hex flashes in. They have got the stun to try and answer out, but the blue buff actually eats it away. The smite is secured there by Linces, who has no flash, remember. Caught out. They're going to try and get the knock up on to Nash. They get him underneath the tower.
Nice.
The chain CC as Linces secures himself the kill. Stefan makes his way over to try and save the day, but that was a lot used, and now Faison's getting chased onto. Linces needs to be careful as he could find himself in trouble. The exhausters come out, they get the headbutt, they get the pole, they get the follow-up. Dusty are popping off at the beginning of this game as Stefan's being run onto, and Backlund with the laser secures the kill. A massive amount of mistakes at the beginning of this game, but Dusty find the opportunity to fire back.
So many things just went wrong right here for Riddle. First of all, Stefan invades. No prior in his lanes. You didn't see anyone from his lanes, whether it was bot lane or mid lane, move first. It was literally him versus Linces. But because they're fighting into Linces' jungle and because Riddle has not moved, that means that, wait a minute.
Stend is making a bit of an oopsie here. They are going to get the stun down. They're getting a whole bunch of damage off onto Nash. They're actually bringing Linces over. Can he get here in time? The answer is no. Kevo and Nash are so low HP. Linces is down. The shutdown goes to Kevo. Dusty, suddenly they're the ones making the mistakes. Then Voxy does have flash, but he does get clipped there by the Winter's Wrath, trying to get away desperately as Nash speeds up towards him, and he gets away. 2 kills from Dusty, just give it over for free there.
Wow, and Kevo from 0 to hero. That's Samira 2 kills in the bag. You go back, you either buy the Noonquiver or you go straight into it. He's going to go straight into the Vamp Setter and double the longsword right there. Really good stuff from Kevo to pick these ones up. And Dusty overextend just as they about found themselves back into the game after a very rough level 1. They just give it straight back to Riddle, and now Kevo is in a pretty good and comfortable position to try and carry with this Samir to apply a lot of pressure into that bot lane onto the Voxen instead that have been actually on point so far, but Faison might be out of trouble, has no flash.
Yeah, they are looking to run him down, but he blast cones away, or not blast cones, self blast cones.
It looks like a blast cone, it's fine, it was a rubber ducky.
Yeah, it's the old version. Before plants came out.
It's a satchel.
Yes, it was his satchel. He was able to get away. Linces able to secure himself the crab as well as he scuttles back into his own jungle. Not after taking a grump from Stefan's jungle. So while Stefan has actually been, you know, he made a mistake, but then he did definitely recover for that with that bot lane play. He is actually now pretty significantly behind Linces. Linces obviously got those 2 kills, has taken away a few camps. He's still got his full jungle to clear as well, and he's got a 35 to 18 CS lead. So pretty significant lead for Linces already. And with the fact he's going to be able to fully clear out his jungle, this can be a pretty big base for him. He's got 450 gold at the moment, but he is definitely ahead as far as the junglers go. Jaxplank has a experience lead over Curb. He's got himself that level advantage, and Curb playing with respect. He's got boots too, though, so he's pretty quick on his feet right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this top lane matchup is very skill-based. We've seen some Fioras do absolutely disgusting stuff. And on the other hand, if Kerberos manages to skill check Jaxplank onto that Fiora, he can come out ahead, especially having the Ghost to chase him down. But the thing right here is Linces' bot lane again.
Oh, good block on the wall there, but the stuns should be enough. Kevo goes down, shut down to Dem Voxney. Very, very... It was a very respectful dive, jump in there, actually, and they played that very patiently. Make sure that they do kind of bait out the overextension, and Dem Voxney's going to be able to shovel wave in for free and steal this one away. Not before trying to run Stefan down. Maybe picking up an extra couple of minions as the alley flashes over, gets the headbutt, doesn't quite get the pole combo as well, but does at least get it onto the pair of them still. Sten's pretty low, though. Oh, pretty close to being locked down by the stun. They should be able to get it. No, it resets. In comes Faison. He's got the ducky, buying some space, but now he's the one in trouble. He tries to get his way out, but Backlund's able to secure the kill. And now they've got a couple more bombs to work with. Backlund's got the ghost on and is chasing Sten down. He's got so much movement speed. He can flash Q if he wants to. Tries to find him with a laser beam. Unable to do so. Puts down the gravity field. Flashes away as well. Has got himself no ultimate to work with. A little bit over eager there from Dusty's mid laner to jump into the middle of free. Meanwhile, Voxney's just quite happily taking 2 plates for himself.
I think Dusty's having a little bit too much fun.
I think they are. I think they are. Stefan's able to survive. Linces lives as well. He has a form to steal away if he needs the help, and 2 more players go down. Dusty, they're just playing with their food right now.
I was about to say, I think Dusty's having a little bit too much fun. It can backfire. It has already backfired once this game, but I feel like when it comes to skill checking, Dusty just have the upper hand right here. They just keep skill checking their opponents. I mean, look at Backlund's inventory. He had nothing but the ring. It turned straight into a freaking Magi's. 5 stacks already, just 8 minutes into the game. This guy is confident enough that not only will he not die, but that he will be filling up the pages of this book soon enough. It's literally his first item, completed item in his inventory. Absolutely nothing right here. And again, I feel like the bot lane specifically, that Voxney has been playing so freaking well these skirmishes together with Linces and Sten. Oh, hold on.
Oh, can he get it in time? The parry connects! In comes Sten! And Curb survives with a sliver of HP. Linces is making his way over as well. He has got that Heartbreaker if he can get in range onto Jaxplank, but he's not going to risk it. He's going to hold it for now. Oh, that was close.
Wow, okay. Kerb needs to give his honor after this game over to Sten, or he would be absolutely dead. Really well played right there from Jaxplank, using the ultimate, hitting all the vitals, getting the heal right there, reposting, as well as stunning Kerberos in place. So well played from Jaxplank. Unfortunately for him, Kerb did have friends coming towards the top side of the map, as you can see. Sten is staying towards the top side, and Kerberos is returning together with Linces, but also from the river, you see Stefan going up. And this is going to be most likely a fight for the Herald. Mind you though, Jaxplank very low on HP, very low on mana, has to reset, which means he will not be in time for that Rift Herald. Let's see if Riddle are going to choose to actually contest it nevertheless.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes on them for that front, but I think actually Dusty have secured every Rift Herald this series. Every Rift Herald has been taken at least. They're being very on it. I might have just cursed them here because Stefan's made his way over. Who's going to win the smite fight? It should be Dusty, and it is. Linces able to secure that one, and they have been doing just so well, actually. Really, really clean stuff. Chains actually do connect. Instant cleanse out from Kevo. Doesn't even want to risk it with the wind wall. It's just going to cleanse out from those chains from Den Voxney and move away. Rift Herald now in the pocket of Linces. Question is where is he going to use it? Is he going to use it mid or bot to try and secure, you know, pressure towards this dragon, which is up on the map?
I think it's very important right here to see that they have a bunch of wave clear in the mid lane, especially with the Ziggs. So I feel like opening up that mid lane tower is going to be huge. One, you take away a lot of the safety of the Ziggs to walk up in this lane, and two, pretty much open up the map for Linus to do whatever the heck he wants in enemy jungle. Right here, he's about 20 CS up. He's 1 level up onto Stefan as well, and fairly so, right? Oh, hold on.
Oh, they are looking for Nash, but they're not actually quite able to get him. But the C... Okay, don't worry, they get him. They're able to get him. Wow, he's dead. Backland's actually ghosted in as well. They're going to flash forward to Lindsay here. They've got the Heartbreak to keep the CC chain going. And Backland's able to secure that kill. Meanwhile, then Voxney quite happily auto-attacking away. Kerp has been all-in a couple of times by Jax Plank, and it has been close every goddamn time. So Kerp needs to be a little bit careful. He's getting, well, it's called ego-checked right now by Jax Plank for this pick.
Ego check? That's what we call it?
Yeah, it's what I call ego-checking.
All right, fair enough. I mean, at this point, if I was Dusty, I would ego check as well. I think game 1 and 2 were pretty stompy. I think they outclassed Riddle in every manner of the game, whether it was ganking, macro movements, pressing their buttons on their respective champions, and it seems to be the case this time as well. I feel like for Riddle's early game, it was all about that Samira and Rel, and Dusty managed to shut it down, but can they shut down Keb?
Uh-oh! Yes is the answer. Yes, they can. That was just sad time hours for old Kirby. But you know, he stayed on low HP, so you somewhat expect it. As Stefan actually might have Stend here. Stend gonna bop him back, and luckily for him, there is a minion under the tower, so he doesn't even take a cheeky tower shot. Rift Herald gets summoned in the mid. It's not gonna actually finish up the tower, but it is gonna do one hell of a chunk to it. And now the boys are back in town. Backland and Lindsys, who have basically been holding hands all game, rotating around the map together, hunting down members as Jax Plank tries to get himself the riposte off, but Lindsys with the fancy feet able to step backwards and not get stunned there.
But that is a ghost blown for Jax Plank and a flash blown for Stefan as well. It feels like Dusty are just so much stronger on the map right now. Again, we were talking about how the bot lane needed to be the strong front for Riddle. You know, there's Samira Rel, the duo that can actually jump in and absolutely 100% to zero you really quickly. And the fact that they did put Kevo on the front foot, but then Lynchus has just not left bot lane. He stayed bot lane to the point where him and then Voxnet got so fed taking kills from that bot lane that now then Voxnet is able to 1v1 versus Kevo, and Kevo is the one that has to actually step back. Although Riddle are bringing 3 members into the river looking for Lintus.
Oh, they are looking for him indeed. Has he got the Heartbreaker? Yes, he does. Uses it to get away. Stefan's being run down by Kerb, but Kerb's heavily chunked out. And there we go. 1 kill for Kerb, but he's immediately going to get jumped onto, but not finished up. The riposte isn't even coming close. Kerb gets himself a double kill.
How? Kerb literally ate the entire Ziggs combo. He kept eating bombs.
Oh, he ain't done. Oh, he ain't done. Lindsys is dead.
And that's a tower. And it goes pew pew, and you die. Lintus overextends right there. Ends up getting punished. His shutdown's going to be given away, if I'm not wrong, to Faison onto this Ziggs. And oh my god. Oh my god.
There's genuine panic in my voice there.
honestly, I thought you wanted to throw up.
I mean, that short fuse auto attack from Faison was disgusting. Look how much damage he does. Hit on this tower there. Boop. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Okay. On Kerb, it was a lot, to be fair. Ooh.
The disgusting was. Okay. Back to the game. 4,000 gold in the lead, of course, for Dusty. And because of that trade in the mid lane, Faison was also able to open up that mid lane tier 1 tower, which is very important. And again, I want you guys to focus right here on Kerb, because Kerb is going to force himself in the tightest choke point of probably the entirety of Summoner's Rift right here. He's going to eat every single Ziggs spell and survive. And not only just survive, but also kill Stefan, and then dash back and tumble away from the Fiora, and also kill the Fiora. To me, that is absolutely mind-blowing. The healing and the dodging that he did after taking all the damage from the Ziggs. I mean, applauding to Kerb right there, but I guess Lintus overextends and ends up being shut down. But we have more.
Kevo's been stunned. He's cleansed and he's away. It's actually quite smart by Backland not to overcommit. He didn't really have the vision in the jungle to work with, so he was just quite comfortably forces the cleanse out from Kevo and then steps away. Nash and then show each other what their cues do, but don't actually hit each other. Meanwhile, Kerb's going to grab himself that top lane tier 1 for himself. We have 15 minutes on the clock, and Dusty are quite far ahead, actually. I did not expect that from this game. I was like, from the start of this game, I was not in the expectation that this was going to be a close game by any means. Oh, sorry, a stompy game by any means.
Yeah, so it's 7,000 gold in the lead for Dusty. 15 minutes in, 16 kills on the board. Majority of them stacked onto Dusty's side. They're going to take the second Great Herald as well on the map. And both teams have been very peculiarly ignoring that first dragon on the map, particularly because both sides are mostly dead because of all the back and forth and all the fighting that's been happening. And of course, we chat a little bit about the junglers, even though Lindsay, I think, has had a fantastic series. It also needs to be said that when you move from like a farming position to a ganking facilitated position, like Stefan has done, usually you're expecting to see a lot of action. I think Stefan has very successfully moved from one side to the other, playing under Sejuani. He had 100% kill participation so far, but right now it's turned on its head because Stefan can no longer be the carry, right? He can facilitate for his carries, and it's Ziggs that has been set a little bit far behind. He needs at least 2 to 3 items to do like big damage with his bombs. And if you look across the board, there's just too many HP bars. There's pretty tanky members. There's a lot of mobility with the likes of Vayne as well and Alistair to get out the damage. So it's a little bit difficult for Riddle to get back into this game unless they get a pick maybe onto backline.
Yeah, they are looking at it for Kerb is here as well. The damage has gone down onto Jax Blank. He's low HP. 2 members caught out by the stun. Kerb flashes forward and Nash will be next to go. The silver bolts are popped and Kerb gets himself the double kill. He's looking for the triple. Easy as you like. Kerb finds himself the triple kill, and Dusty, I mean, they're just running away with this game. Multiple members down.
The most fascinating thing about Dusty is that you always think one member is overextending. Every single time you're like, this guy's dead, this guy's dead, this guy's dead, and then suddenly the entire team appears through the map.
They're paid actors, mate.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Absolutely mind-blowing how good they are at micromanaging the map and their movements as a whole team.
It's happening again. No way is it happening again. Trouble, you were literally just talking about this. These guys are nuts at this. Lynx is able to steal away another form. Charges out to safety. They do throw the ultimate down, but he just heartbreakers back around. 2 versus 4. Okay. They just run into them. Stefan's going to burn down. He's cooked. That's another kill over to Dusty. Trouble, you literally just said they seem to overextend, but they're never overextending. They've got it planned out so well. That's an inhibitor down. That's a tower down. This game is so comfortably in Dusty's favor right now. It is going to be unbelievably hard for Riddle to pull this back.
Yeah, I mean, look at I was about to look at the time, but yeah, sure, look at the time, 18 minutes in, but that's a 12,000 gold lead for Dusty. They're just, I'm sorry to say it for Riddle fans right here, but they're just completely outclassing Riddle again in any form in the game, whether it comes to champions, macro, micro, engages, disengages. The way they're moving around the map is absolutely mind-blowing. And honestly, I think the one thing that we have to look forward as a backline completes his 25 stacks plus Death Cup, which does scale a lot with his Magi stacks and his Ludens. I'd like to say, just take a peek into the finals that's coming up. The Astralis versus this Dusty, because Dusty looked a little bit questionable coming up to the semi-final, and we had our questions for them. We're like, didn't look very clean versus Div 2 teams. Well, against Div 1 teams, they're playing full gear and they're absolutely stomping and they're doing so well. How well will they do against an Astralis that actually struggled to beat a JDXL that didn't have the best results towards the end of the year? Then Voxnay, 1 versus 2, what you got?
Not a lot. I think the problem
okay.
with being able to outplay people is you're very based on being able to move.
Uh-oh.
He just couldn't move. Lindsay's turning around. Deathcat freshly onto backline.
Hold on.
Max Plank is toasted. Sten jumps into the backline, gets the headbutt off. The pole onto 1. Nash is low, but backline survives. Faison flashes forward, and the shield from the Q means backline is not in any danger at all. 4 members fall for Riddle.
Yeah, and Kevo survives, but it's because Kevo is not there to be run over by Dusty, and Dusty yet come out on top. It looks like that Vox is getting caught. Surprise! Everyone else is there to finish off the job for him, and honestly, it looks like clean as you take the Baron, you start pushing in one lane, bot lane's pushing already from the inhibitor that you've taken down. If you're Dusty, right now you're 14,000 gold up. You can just pretty much walk in, slap people in the face with your extra items, and just finish the deal. This has been an extremely clean and very dominant series from the side of Dusty, and I really hope that Astralis have something in the bag for themselves, because this Dusty looks invincible.
They look so strong. I am so excited, and I'm getting ahead of myself because I know we're technically in game 3 and it's technically not over, but I am very excited for the Astralis Dusty matchup. I'm calling it here now. I think, unfortunately for Riddle, this might just be their final game of the tournament, and we will be turning our eyes towards what Dusty are going to be able to do versus Astralis, because I think that is going to be a very fun finals.
As you can see, Dusty are taking the Baron buff all the way to top lane, but Nexus Towers are under attack for Riddle, so they have sent Stefan back to actually try and fend off these minions off of the Nexus Towers. But right now, Riddle, one last dance.
The two-man pulse into the toaster. Nash is cooked. Kevo is next up as Curb secures a double kill. Faison falls to Dem Voxney, and Stefan is the final player standing. He's going to be almost going down to Curb. Not quite enough, but with the towers crumbling in an absolute stomp from Dusty. 22 minutes on the clock, and Dusty are going to finals.
I mean, you gotta give it to them. They were so clean. They were so dominant. They played their macro so well. They played their matchup so well. The way they move around the map as a team is absolutely astonishing to me. The fact that they always have one member pretending that they're the bait, and then suddenly the entire team is just collapsing out of nowhere onto an entire team fight is just absolutely mind-blowing for me. And Dusty are pulling this trick off so easily into Riddle. And a Riddle that actually put up a fight. They tried to take their comforts away. Then they tried to play into counter-picking Dusty. So the first game, they're like, fine, we'll play comfort. Didn't work. On the second game, they're like, wait, Dusty is blind-picking both their solo laners. We'll try to counter that. That didn't work. Third game, they're like, you know what? The bot lane has been very dominant with these Varus. We'll try to play an even more dominant bot lane. That didn't work. Riddle tried everything. Dusty were just better today.
That was just an amazing series from Dusty. They are so good in the team fights, and it is going to be an amazing finals versus Astralis. But to break this series down, we are going to pass it over to Archer and the lads. Over to you guys.
Can I look yet? Is it safe? Is it
Now
safe?
we're done with breaking up things, okay? Dusty did that already on the third game. That was complicated. Riddle couldn't even do anything. We were giving props to Riddle on the previous game, but on this one, okay, I need explanations, my good source.
Sam, you
Initialize.
muted.
I would love to hear
He's
your
actually
voice,
not
man.
allowed to say any of this. He's
No, you need to
muted
unmute
himself.
yourself. Yeah, first of all, you need to unmute, and then you can talk.
I wasn't clicked on Discord, so when I tried to unmute, my hotkeys didn't work. So I think I muted on OBS instead of on here, where my microphone's not even going
I mean,
through.
that shows the
Wow.
professionality we've got going on here. Honestly, I had a bit of a stroke of
Whoops.
inspiration in that very last game. I feel like the best thing we can do for this game is just watch the chaos. It was so entertaining to watch. Right from the off, both these teams were like, well, okay, let's fight then. I actually think for Riddle, this is the correct thing to do.
Yes,
We already talked about how, like, Dusty, when it comes to, like, a lot of their comp, it's just kind of a better version of what Dusty have. Like, they have a 4v4 that wants to kind of all in, but there's some nullification on the other side. And then you got this split pushing 1v1. But it felt like Riddle had a worse version of what Dusty had. So, like, fighting from the off, getting yourself some advantages, I don't think that is actually the worst thing you can do. I think that's what I would have done in their shoes.
Yeah, and then they try and leverage it right. They've got the level 1 play. They know this Viego is going to be behind. They try to punish by going for an invade that goes catastrophically wrong. Like, at this point, you think, okay, Riddle should be able to do this. Going to go for the contest. Lince secures the blue buff, and then over they come, and Stend breaks Nash's ankles. That flash headbutt
Good.
probably won them the game. Honestly, everything goes wrong from here.
But I really want to say how close that was to being a super big
Yes.
like brain play from Nash, because Nash stuns midair to stop Alistair, stopping him crashing down. If he was just a couple of 100 units, like 100 units closer, he gets the CC, he gets the kill. That is so close. Of course, then kind of like it goes to hell after this point, but like, I mean, yeah, that was so close between those supports playing off. The micro of these plays had me on the edge of my seat the entirety of that game. I know it's a quick 3-0. I know that
But you
third
said
game was
something
absolute
specific,
mess,
Nymeta.
but it was so entertaining.
That kill where Backland was involved, accelerated Victor so much, it was ridiculous. That
Yeah,
was
he-
the deciding play, yeah.
Yeah, look, he gets a kill and assist early on, so he's going to get towards his passive, stacks way faster. You see as well, then Voxnay managed to get an exhaust off, get there, prevent an easy Q over the wall from Szechuan. You had no flash by just body blocking the damn boar. And then you end up
By
with
the way, this is 50 seconds late.
This is like, and you think, okay, Dusty, you're in it. And then
So put it this way. Normally we have a shopping list of clips we want afterwards. 50 seconds, 3 minutes, 3 minutes 50, 6 minutes. It is just constantly fighting to the point where all of these players, you're not killing minions at this point. You are killing enemy champions. And Riddle, honestly, give it as good as they take for the first couple of minutes of this game. This is actually really interesting to see Riddle going, all right, we're just going to try and outhands them. Just see if we can outplay. Now, doesn't quite work out that way. And as you said, a kill and assist from that 3-minute play, it really accelerates the Victor. So yeah, getting a kill and assist, that's 50 shards towards your first evolution. It gives you extra wave control. It gets you extra damage. Particularly when you got your Q upgrade in this game, the extra amount of move speed to kind of like kite around is actually really huge in this too. Accelerating anyone in this game is dangerous, but particularly Backland's Victor, that got a bit problematic.
And it's like round 44 fight. This is just like, at this point, Dusty are clearly having fun. You've seen the way they bought, the way they played, the way they bought. You saw a first item 5-stack Medjai's from Victor, and it just pays off. Everything they do seems to turn to gold from this time around, or at least, a few kills. I'm not quite, I feel they might be a few ranks higher than gold, but hey, what are you going to do? And then you think it's over, and then Linus goes, no,
Yeah,
it's
how
not.
much
It's
LP
never
did
over.
Riddle lose for this game, do you reckon?
Because you think, okay, we can just fight for Krugs, it'll be fine. It's not fine because
I was wondering why this replay was going on so long, and then I realized the play actually just keeps going, and I'm
never
like,
ends.
yeah, it keeps going. They're still level 4 and 5. This is being
Here
played
comes
out
the
as though
boy
it's like a
from midline.
this is being
Supposed
played out as though it's
respawn.
like a 25-minute team fight. Backland comes down. He's got Ghost. Oh yeah, Ghost. By the way, nowadays, ever since the season, you get a kill and it actually increases the duration of it. You have a stolen Ziggs to work with too. Like Backland is just walking around like he's playing Dance Dance Revolution on Victor. He's just like, okay, I'll just step back out for this one.
Like, the thing that really amused me about that play as well is Backlund looks at the minefield, dodges back a few times, goes,
And
you
he
know
just
what,
comes
I'm
back.
and he just walks around him. He says, I can still walk around him, it's fine. And then they still get more kills.
I don't know what the comms were like this game, but I'm pretty sure it's a continual stream of I can go, I can go, I can go, and it doesn't stop for 20 minutes.
Well, we need to stop right now because also the Voxer was just taking place for no reason at all. Nobody cared about him. He was just taking, 160. Good job. Danke. And he moves on. Then we need to move on as well. We could have at least 15 to 20 clips from this third game that lasted 21 minutes, something like that. The first item, the first Medjai's, like, that is a lot to take in. But in order to move on from this one, because Astralis are going to be facing Dusty, we need to talk with Dusty after a small pause. It's with Dame Voxney, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll see you soon.
Stand.
Stand! Oh, I love it. I'll sit over there. And welcome back. There he is. Then once again, we had the opportunity to talk. That was a fast one. Were you expecting this sort of a series versus Riddle?
Uh, how I was expecting it, you said?
Yeah. Were you expecting this quick?
Uh, I mean, we were confident, but if I'm honest, we didn't expect to be that dominant. I think
Mhm.
it was pretty not easy, but we were kind of better, I would say. I did not expect us to be that good because from the last series, I think we were not playing that well. So I'm pretty happy from the performance today.
So what changed? What changed from Natives, that is a team that just got promoted to Div 1, versus Riddle?
Honestly, I don't know.
Oh,
We are not screaming, so we are just playing games each day.
okay.
So nothing changed. I don't know. Maybe we are just feeling better today.
Just a click out of a sudden. Tell me something, Stan. If you had to give the MVP to one of your teammates,
Yeah.
who would you pick on this series?
Uh, okay. If I'm honest, I would pick Backlund. Yeah, Backlund. I would say.
Okay. Why is that?
I think they played really well mid jungle this game, this series.
Mhm.
They were always getting leads and putting pressure on sides. And the last game, Backlund played Victor, first item Magi. It goes crazy. So yeah, I would put it to Backlund.
So tell me something. I'm a fly on your Discord while you guys are playing, and I've noticed that you are never on the bot side. You really like to roam. You really like to get that Linkus withstand synergy. What are the comms? What are the preparations? Who makes the call of in 30 seconds we're going mid to just gank? What is happening?
I think game 1 and 2, I did a lot of roams.
Mhm.
Like we I was in mind that mid has no flash, so I was like, okay, I come mid. We were sync with Linas and the same wave. We came as two, and we just flashed on the guy, and he's just dead. For the first game, I had a timer, so I just call Kerberos. I can come top, bait him, and we try to kill him. I wasted his flash, so that's some small rooms that creates a lot of advantage, I would say. And but the third game we played strong side bot, and I think we played well around that. We abused the Samira. I think it was good.
Yeah, it
I
seemed
think
like
that's
the
the
simulating you
strength
play.
of Dusty, that we can play through mid, top, or A or bot, depending of the draft.
You guys are looking menacing. If you look into the game of today, you guys are looking menacing as you walk into the finals versus Astralis. Astralis took down JDXL. What can we expect from the finals of Aurora Open?
Honestly, I'm pretty confident. I think we will win. We will win easily, I would say.
So a 3-0, not even a game for Astralis.
Maybe 3-1 if we for fun too much, I would say.
How fun to watch. Okay. What is that player in Astralis that you think, it could be menacing. It could be a trouble.
uh, I don't know, honestly. I don't. I'm not scared about anyone. I think there are more. I think Astralis, they are more a team with a team synergy than more
Mm.
individualities, I would say.
And you guys fight a lot. Like your team fight strategy, the way Dusty go into team fights, it's an amazing thing to watch. The synergy as well. So imagine Astralis and Dusty are on even grounds in the mid game, and there's a big team fight. You would still say like it's going to be an easy one for Dusty, not an easy one, but
I mean,
comfortable one.
not easy, but I
Yeah,
think our
yeah.
strength is like skirmishes and team fights. So yeah, I'm pretty confident. If the
Okay,
game is even, like our strength is the fights and team fights. So I'm
sounds
pretty
good.
confident. Yeah.
What would it mean to you to win Aurora Open? Last question.
Honestly, I would be really happy because I did not do a good spring split, and I come here in NLC for the summer, and we win
Yeah.
the regular splits. We win the with a record, I think, as well. We win the playoffs, and then we do a really good show on EU Masters. And if we win as well this cup, like I will be really proud because my main goal was to come in this league and say that we are the best team. So I'm really proud
So far, it
if we win.
seems like it's 10. Thank you so much for
Yes.
the interview. So, last words for the audience before you leave.
Thank you guys. I've seen a lot of support, especially during the UM rush. It was like a rough one, but I've seen all the messages and thank you for the support.
Thank you so much for this one, Stan. I'll bid you farewell, and I'll toss it to the desk, so you're allowed to leave right now. You do you, my
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you so
Bye
much.
bye.
Have a nice one. And there you go. Let's toss it
Just
to the
gonna
desk.
just gonna be typing out a message here to Stand.
You
Pick
go.
our support next time.
Ari support.
I mean,
Hidden
I
OP.
just, the guy came in.
Don't feed the troll. Don't.
Okay.
We
No,
don't. We
all,
don't feed the
I'm
troll.
gonna say, look, all I'm saying is, Sten played very confidently this series.
He did.
Dusty played very confidently this series, and you heard it there. They came in saying, "Look, we've not scrimmed. We're just playing as we are," and they're coming in with this kind of level, having these kind of games, and even the games where they're having fun, like that last game with some of the picks and stuff they were trying to go for. Literally, we just saw Zen tweet out that the coach of Dust saying, "Look, my mid laner bought a Medjay's at 7 minutes, had 700 AP by 18. Like, what can this team not do right now?
Yeah,
even
and
with
I
no
think-
practice."
And I think this team, particularly Stend as well, because this was an interview that you did with Stend, Artron, where you were saying, actually, I see myself later being an LFL, top LFL, climbing up that ladder, and then being an LEC one day. Now, performances like this, it puts you on the radar. It shows that intent. And even if this team is, not firing on all cylinders, they haven't been scrimming or whatever, like to show that level, I think it does show what they've been building towards as their goals further in their career.
I agree 100%. This is a good show for Dusty, but they're going to be facing Astralis in the final. So, from your point of view, boys, Astralis, Dusty, what can you expect? I don't want numbers to begin. I want to understand what sort of gameplay should I be expecting initialize.
I think
Oh, I don't know.
we would be foolish not to consider the mid jungle again, because that has been Dusty's real strength. And honestly, you look at the other side, where Astralis did eventually get the edge, was once they got their mid jungle into those team fights later on. Sankirk's actually had a pretty damn good series when he needed to on things like the Akali and the rest of it. And if you can do a little bit of a better job about trading back some of those kills in mid lane, or at least looking to throw some punches there better than we saw out of Riddle today, we might have a closer series. But I think that will be where my eyes turn. Even as Sten said, look, we can just play where we need to with drafts. I still think mid jungle is the bit that's the real superstar power for me right now.
Agreed. Nightmare, you raise your finger. So
I'm going to
tell me.
halve that and just say Senkux versus Backlund. Those two have been really good.
Yeah.
No, you see, we saw Senkux go like 10-1-4 or something like that on his own Silas game, something like that. They have had ridiculous performances on playmakers. There really is no place you can look on the map and say, actually, these are going to be unskilled, uncompetitive players. All of these matchups are ones you can talk about. I think that the bot lanes for both these teams have been a bit more role play, fitting the rest of the draft rather than being PowerPoints in themselves. But that's not exactly been a negative. They've just performed very well with the lesser resources and drafts that they've been given. Carlson versus Kerberos. Kerberos had a great series today. He was styling in that last game on the Vayne, but his Jax has been awesome. Carlson was a huge factor in their win in their semifinals too. Against Kryze even. Kryze is someone that we have a huge amount of respect for. I think you can pinpoint anywhere on the map, but it has to start from that mid lane. These huge, dynamic playmakers.
I agree. There's not a single lane on this finals of Aurora Open where you just want to skip your eyes from. Every single lane is going to be a delight to look for. And I'll be delighted to see you with us on Sunday, where we have the finals of Aurora Open, top of the mountain. Whoever wins this one wins the last competition of NLC 2022. From you boys, I think I don't get to see you anymore initialize, so I'll let you all say bid farewell on 2022 initialize. Let's start with you, my man.
Yeah, I'll be here on Sunday. I'll be there to be around for it. I'm really excited for it. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. It's my first proper year casting, and I've got to do it in spectacular fashion. It's been really, really awesome. And this is a great tournament to kind of wrap everything up with. And it's been really entertaining. So many teams with so much going on. Just excited to see
Just so people understand. I understand he's casting, but I'm not working with him, so I don't get to see him. It's quite different.
Okay, I see how it is. Right.
Production, come on,
fine.
production. I don't get to see him. Like, he's on a different spectrum of the cast. Nightmare.
Yeah, well, I think, we try not to do this too often, because the more you do it, the less it kind of loses its value. But yeah, it is good to take a step back.
Well, thank you so much, Dan. Let's
a lot
wrap
of
the
that,
show.
what we have done, a lot of what we have done today is celebrate what's been on screen, celebrate the teams and the players. And, it's good to celebrate what's actually happening with the community and stuff too. And us, I suppose, to a personal level as well. all three of us coming into the NLC, you know, Sam and I guessed it a little bit on NLC last year, but to go through this entire year, see these teams and these players follow their stories through, and for us to kind of have our own growth alongside them,
Climb the
it's
mountain
really
alongside
cool to
it.
have
Come
a
on.
moment to celebrate that. And for everyone in chat who watched it too, we really hope you enjoy watching that journey as well, because it's special to us, and we hope it's special to you.
We keep climbing the mountain. I just opened finals to begin the show. We do have NLC opening, the one where we're all climbing the mountain. That would be lovely. That would be lovely. That's the theme. That's the show. That's Dusty and Astralis facing on finals for Aurora Open. Don't miss it. What you need to do is keep climbing, and I'll see you soon.